Okay, picture a millionaire. What comes to mind for you? Is it like the flashy CEO stepping off a private jet? Maybe that influencer showing off a crazy expensive watch from a penthouse apartment. I bet that's kind of the image most of us have. But what if I told you that whole picture is, well, almost completely wrong? Today, we're doing a deep dive into The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. And this isn't just, a book, it's this huge study, decades of research, surveys, data from thousands of actual millionaires. And we're talking millionaires back in 1996 dollars, so pretty substantial. Our mission here is to uncover the honestly surprising secrets of who America's wealthy really are, and then figure out how those insights might apply to, well, to your life.
Yeah, and what's so striking about the research is how it just completely shatters that image you mentioned, the glamorous one. It makes it stop and ask, okay, if they aren't that, then who are they?
Exactly. And it really makes you look around your own neighborhood differently, doesn't it? Because the reality this deep dive shows is, well, most millionaires, they aren't celebs or tech billionaires. Not usually. They're much more likely to be, say, small business owners or accountants, teachers, engineers, people you might know, living in pretty normal middle-class neighborhoods, often so quietly you wouldn't even notice.
That's a key finding, absolutely. And what's really interesting is that most of them, they're first generation wealthy. This isn't usually inherited money we're talking about. They built it,
Yeah.
often from, scratch. Their wealth isn't typically tied up in old family trusts or huge Wall Street bonuses. It comes from things like self-employment. Think about your local dry cleaner who owns the place, or a reliable contractor, maybe a consultant who's built a practice, or even stable professions where, consistent effort just pays off over time.
Which leads us to how they live. And this is where it gets really counterintuitive, I think. Like the car thing. I always assumed serious money meant, I don't know, a Porsche or something exotic. But the book just blows that up. Did you know many millionaires are driving around in, like, used Toyotas or Fords? Get this. The authors found half of the millionaires they studied spent less than $30,000 on their last car, often bought used. Compare that to, say, a doctor earning a ton but struggling to save, who goes out and buys an $80,000 luxury SUV. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It highlights this core principle. They live significantly below their means, way below their homes, often pretty modest. We're talking less than $300,000 back in $96, not mansions. And they're not hitting up designer stores. They're shopping at places like Costco, buying in bulk. They actively avoid those flashy luxury brands that just scream, look how much I spent. They prioritize saving and investing over outward displays of status.
It's such a contrast to what you see everywhere, especially on social media, right? It's almost the opposite. While the feed is full of dress and designer stuff, these real millionaires are, like the book says, quietly clipping coupons and investing the difference. It's like they're playing a totally different game, a long game, focused on keeping the money and making it grow, not just, spending it to look rich.
Precisely. So, boiling it down for everyone listening, the message is really clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wealth isn't usually about luck or inheritance or showing off this crazy lifestyle. It's built methodically, quietly, through discipline, serious frugality, and just smart financial habits compounded over years and years. It's kind of a timeless reminder, really, that substantial wealth is often built by people who, don't look particularly wealthy on the surface.
Right. So recapping quickly, real wealth often looks very, very different from what we imagine. It's less about the big splashy purchases and much more about those consistent, maybe even boring habits that just add up. So here's something to think about as you go about your week. What status symbols, maybe the ones you see online or around you, might you be chasing? And more importantly, what quiet, effective wealth building habits might you be overlooking or maybe even sacrificing to chase them? Just something to mull over.